RW's old guy is here. He's back with another random daily match review, and this one is it's somewhat controversial, somewhat tear-jerking about one of the guys in this match, and one of the guys is Chris Benoit. He has been under scrutiny ever since he committed that tragedy back in 2007, and by no means am I condoning what he did. Okay, I'm just letting everyone know that I still respect him and his legacy as a wrestler, and I'm going to talk about that in the aftermath a little bit. But this match here is his last match he ever had. He was wrestling Elijah Burke on ECW June 19th, 2007. This was the semifinals of the at the time vacant ECW title tournament, and the winner would face either CM Punk or Marcus Corvan at Vengeance coming up later that month. And we're gonna get into this because we're gonna get into it right now. We're gonna get to the intros, and Chris Benoit comes out to his. This theme song is one of my favorites of all time. There's not much about this guy. It's not my favorite of all time in wrestling. The song is called Whatever. I forget the artist, but to me, it's perfect. It evolved over time. It eventually grew lyrics, and when the lyrics hit there, this song became one of my favorite themes of all time. Probably my favorite. Now while I'm thinking about it, so I love his theme. He comes out. It's an intense song for an intense guy, and as usual, he gets a nice pop from the crowd here. His opponent is Elijah Burke, and he has a cool little theme. I don't know who sings it, what it's called, but he comes out. He's playing the heel, and in the ring, we see Chris Benoit is ready, and Elijah Burke is also ready. The crowd is ready. Ref says ring the bell, and here we go. All right, they lock up. Benoit grabs a rear waist lock and takes down Burke. Burke escapes and applies a headlock. Benoit reverses and applies a reverse armbar. Burke applies a side headlock, but Benoit is able to whip Burke into the corner, or a corner, excuse me. Benoit charges Burke and eats a back elbow for his efforts. Benoit throws a punch at Burke, but Burke dodges and goes for. Burke throws a punch at Benoit. Benoit dodges and goes for a wrist lock, but Burke is able to twist out of the wrist lock and takes down Benoit by the legs and goes for a pin and gets a 2 count. Both men stand up and have a face-off. Crowd gets a little bit of a pop, and then they go to lock up, and Benoit just outright starts slapping and chopping Burke like a little bitch. Burke is a schoolboy in on Benoit for a 2 count, but Benoit straight away transitions into a crippler crossface, but Burke is able to reach the ropes. So Benoit has to break the hold. Burke kicks Benoit in the gut and then proceeds to lay in a few chops, punches, and kicks. Burke whips Benoit in chest first into the corner, goes for a pin and gets a 2 count. More kicks from Burke. Some ground and pound from Burke, gets him a 2 count. Burke panders to the crowd and gets booed for it. Burke applies an abdominal stretch on Benoit. Burke has a reverse headlock on Benoit, but Benoit is able to hit a Northern Light suplex on Burke and bridges for a 2 count. Burke responds with a kick to Benoit's head to regain control. Burke suplexes Benoit chest first on the top rope, and then Benoit falls to the apron. Burke runs the ropes and shoulder tackles Benoit, and Benoit bumps to the floor. Burke is gesturing to the ref, "Hey man, count that guy out. Count that guy out. I don't care if I win, I don't care how I win. I'm just going to win." Says, count the guy out. Burke decides, but despite that, Burke decides to go outside the ring and gather Benoit up and put him back in the ring, and goes for a pin and gets a 1 count. Burke sets Benoit on Brett's rope and uses his knee pushes his knee into the back of Benoit, essentially choking Benoit on the rope. And Burke releases that, and Benoit remains on the middle rope. And then Burke does this kind of weird thing. I'm not sure what he was doing because it never really materialized. So with Benoit still on the middle rope, Benoit runs the ropes and attempts. It looked like a sit down something or other. I'm not sure what he was doing. Either way, Benoit dodged it, and Burke just basically landed on the ropes like on his the back of his hips and just crumples to the mat. Burke Burke and Benoit get to their feet, and Benoit starts punching and Burke, and then nails him with an axe handle. Benoit hits a suplex and floats over for a 2 count. Benoit hits a Northern Lights suplex again for a 2 count. Benoit does his 3 rolling Germans. Benoit goes to the top rope, but Burke blocks a flying headbutt with both of his knees. Look really stiff. Jeez, I think Benoit aimed for his knee. That's what it looked like. So both guys are now down on the mat. Referee institutes a count, but they both get up at 6. Burke hits Benoit with a clothesline for a 2 count. Benoit goes for a suplex, but Benoit escapes with a few knee strikes while he's up in the air. Benoit attempts a German, but Burke blocks it, and then Burke goes for a back elbow and misses. Benoit is able to maneuver Burke into a sharpshooter, but Burke is able to kick Benoit off of him and into a corner. Burke misses the Elijah Express, which is 2 knees to his opponent in the corner. And after he misses, Benoit applies the sharpshooter. And at let's just say 10 minutes. I forgot to time it. Sorry, guys. I usually do that, but I didn't. And about 10 minutes or so, Burke taps out. And Chris Benoit wins, and he will advance to vengeance for his shot at the ECW title. And we see Benoit celebrating in the ring, and then eventually he's going to walk over to the belt and just look at it. It's his belt, and he touches it as gives it a little touch, a little glance with his hand before the video cuts to black. Okay, so the match was good. It was okay. It's pretty standard stuff. They didn't really go all balls out like you would if you saw Benoit Angle from the Royal Rumble match, which I watched earlier that day. Either way, the match was still pretty fun to watch. Nice reversals by both guys, stiff strikes and smooth transitions from both guys. But unfortunately for the wrestling world, this will be Chris Benoit's last match, as I alluded to earlier. He didn't make it to vengeance due to the very tragic double murder and suicide that he would commit over the weekend. So Johnny Nitro was pegged to be Benoit's replacement, and he would go on to defeat CM Punk in the final to win the ECW title. All right, so I got this match from Chris, and I'm kind of glad he chose it. It's a tough discussion. It depends on who you talk to. You'll get varied opinions. I never really gave it a thought to see what Chris Benoit was doing at the particular time. I never went and looked back at it to see, was it obvious he had intentions of doing what he did? Could you see? Could anyone see it coming? I couldn't. Watching this match here, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary from any other Chris Benoit match I've seen. The same intense look. Maybe he looked I guess in a way, he might have looked sad. I'm not sure what to call it. The look on his face. He did lose his best friend in Eddie Guerrero, recently. He'd been dealing with it for a pretty fair amount of time. He has put tremendous strain on his body over the years with his stiff style that he has. He either nails you with something or he doesn't do it. Either he performs the move to the 100% maximum impact or he doesn't do it. He also had the same normal pressures any other family would have, with family members and kids and all that kind of crap. So what would cause Benoit to do it? I don't know. So I thought about it for a while, and I determined that I'm not going to be concerned with that at all. I'm not going to. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a profiler. I'm not a detective. I'm not an expert in anything related to anything that he did. I'm not. You know what I am, though? I am a wrestling fan. That's what I am. That's why I still watch it today. At 45 years old, I still watch it because I'm a wrestling fan. So I'm going to decide to not judge Chris Benoit and what he did outside the ring because I don't know what caused him to do it. No one really knows, except for him. So no one really knows. So, but again, what I do know is that I'm a wrestling fan. I'm a Chris Benoit fan, and that will never, ever change. I've gotten asked what my favorite moment in wrestling is, and it always comes down to WrestleMania 20. That moment where he's standing in the ring with Eddie Guerrero, and he's just surrounded by confetti. They're hugging it out, and it just these both guys put in tons of work over the years And there's two guys who broke the stereotype of what a WWF/WWE champion should be. The friggin' 6-foot guy or taller guy. It was a stupid stereotype that these guys both broke. They both broke that ceiling. So you guys like Daniel Bryan could get the belt. So that CM Punk could get the belt. So instead of scrutinizing any bullshit opinions from media pundits, looking for ratings and all that crap, or the constant prosecution of what Chris Benoit did, I choose to remember his legacy in the ring. I choose to celebrate his great matches, his great moments. Like I said, I just watched one today with him and Kurt Angle at Rumble 2003. You got a standing ovation. So I choose to remember Chris Benoit like this.